And in this video, we're going to break down the sales process that does not depend upon the agency owner or founder. Hi, I'm Woessner, CEO of Predictive ROI, where we help agencies sell more of what they do so they can reach their goals faster. What do we call that sales process? We call it the trust architecture. There are 3 bricks. I'm going to break down each brick in this conversation. And then also, I think if we did this post correctly, there's going to be a number of different resources that are available either in the post itself or in the comments section. When I say we, I really mean me. To make sure that I did this correctly by listing those things or adding those things. If I have forgotten something, if after going through this video, you're like, hey, wait a minute, he talked about this episode or this downloadable thing and it's not there, just, send me an email and I'm happy to share that with you. Okay, so the trust architecture at a high level. These are the bricks that go inside the architecture, and each brick represents a meeting in the sales process. So more specifically, the first meeting or first brick is called Help Me Understand. The second meeting or second brick is what we call Align and Prescribe. And then the third is Meet and Greet. So the Help Me Understand is the first brick in the architecture, and it's a different type of meeting than this. It is not a discovery call. And the reason why we've rebuilt that or repositioned it or reframed it, whatever word you want to call it, is because a discovery call typically feels a bit one-sided, right? You're trying to pull all of this information out about project specifics, deliverables, timelines, budget, and all of that. And it can feel very one-sided. Now, maybe you run discovery calls that create trust. I'm going to give you a methodology and a framework here with the outcome of building trust, building rapport, and then also gives you the ability to schedule the next meeting, the next brick, Align and Prescribe seamlessly. Okay, so no more discovery calls, and instead help me understand. Now, the wonderful thing about this process is you don't have to do it. If you're the agency owner, founder, leader inside the business, you don't have to do it. And so if you happen to step through, or maybe you have stepped through a help me understand conversation here at Predictive, then you've probably already met Vanessa. She is our partner advocate. She is absolutely amazing. She orbits a distant moon of awesome. She's incredible. And candidly, she does a much better job of the Help Me Understand than I ever did or could. And so my suggestion would be is that this is where you start moving out of the sales process if you're the owner/founder, and instead installing somebody who, like Vanessa, is going to be a great representation of your agency and do a really, really good job in executing this framework. And this is the framework. So this is the Help Me Understand framework. It's free. We share it. You're welcome to it. We're asking 5 categories of questions, if you will, of our prospective client. So if you've ever been through a Help Me Understand conversation with Predictive, then this is going to sound pretty familiar. Who do you help? What are problems that you solve? How does it work? Then specifically over here, the vital priorities. What are the top 3 most vital priorities that you're trying to accomplish between now and insert X timeline? We typically say between now and the end of the year, between now and Q2 of next year, whatever the time frame might be. And then what are the roadblocks, obstacles, and so forth that are standing in your way? Once you have that conversation, in fact, this is one of the things that Vanessa does brilliantly. At the beginning of the conversation, she sets the expectations and frames up, this is what the Help Me Understand conversation is going to be about. And then also after that conversation, if it feels like a good fit, then we will schedule the second conversation that we call Align and Prescribe. And that is essentially the script, so that prospective client knows from the onset of the conversation that if it goes well and if they feel really good about it, the next stage is Align and Prescribe. We do that with intention, and we're intentional about our words, so our prospective client always knows what is going to be next, so there are no surprises along the way. So some additional resources here. You should be able to find inside this post a link to this ebook on the Help Me Understand process and breaking it down in granularity. And then if you happen to be a listener of our podcast, go to episode 176, because I break down the Help Me Understand in very, very detailed form. It's about an hour long because it is so detailed. Okay, so let's do a quick refresh here. We just went through Help Me Understand. Now we're going to step through Align and Prescribe, the second conversation or the second brick in the trust architecture. And this is a key piece here. We never, ever, 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 and I don't want you to either, ever prescribe until you have alignment. And that's the whole point of this second conversation. We take the data points, the things we learned from Help Me Understand, and we put it inside the context of the Focus Finder. And maybe you've already downloaded this from our website. I think that there's going to be a link in this post where you can access it. If not, then just send me an email. Happy to send it to you. But the Focus Finder breaks down the 9 different tactical levers that we've built out inside our methodology, that we know that if we are able to implement those tactical levers and do that over and over and over again with excellence on behalf of our client, we know the outcomes that they're going to receive. We're going to help them sell more of what they do so they can reach their goals faster. That's the whole point of the 9 tactical levers. And we want you to build out your own Focus Finder too, because that's the tool that you're going to use during the Align and Prescribe process. This is about taking the information that you learned during Help Me Understand, putting it into the Focus Finder, and then going side by side with your prospective client to have them score themselves against what you thought their score was. And this beautiful thing happens as a result of that. They will show you and identify where the gaps are inside their business, and then how you might be helpful. You're developing alignment. So you can take that a little bit deeper by downloading that ebook, the Align and Prescribe. And then I did the same thing here in episode 182. I broke down not only the Align and Prescribe process, but how to build your own Focus Finder. It's all in that solo cast. I know that I'm moving at a pace and a tempo right now that is like really fast, because I'm trying to get all of this in for you. So now it's the third piece, the meet and greet. This is where the typical agency is so excited. They may have been like constrained themselves during the first 2 meetings, and they think, okay, this is when we get to pitch. No, this is not a pitch. If you do this correctly, by sharing your solution, your strategy, your whatever, and leading with outcomes first, I promise there is no selling here at all. You say to your client, hey, during this conversation, the meet and greet, this is literally what you call it. We're going to keep this at a high level, 30,000 foot view, talk about strategy and outcomes and so forth. But please know, if you want to go a deep dive into all the tactical, we are happy to do that. That's how you frame up meet and greet from a content perspective, and say, happy to go here, but we're going to keep it at a 30,000 foot. But the reason why you call it meet and greet is because this is where you bring in your team. Here's Vanessa, here's Hannah, here's Libby. We're a team of 30 here at Predictive. This is where we're orchestrating this meeting for our prospective client to be able to meet some of the other cast of characters, and specifically the scientists inside the business. And then also, these are their key contacts. They're going to be working alongside them inside the project itself, inside the engagement itself. We bring everyone together, the key stakeholders, during this meet and greet, so it never ever feels like a pitch at all. In fact, it feels like a teaching, right? So Hannah is teaching, Libby is teaching, Vanessa is orchestrating the whole thing. You see that I am here. I am there in order to edify and support my team. I am not there to pitch. And because Hannah and Libby are doing a beautiful job of teaching along the way. Okay, I promise there is a meet and greet solo cast on the way. It's not ready yet. I haven't recorded it, but that is the trust architecture at a high level. Help Me Understand, Align and Prescribe, meet and greet. If you have questions, concerns, drop me a comment in the post below. I hope that was super helpful. Until next week, bye for now. Onward with gusto.